This week I'm in the kitchen making some of my favorite easy from scratch summer meals and desserts, made to keep my family's bellies full, hearts happy, and everyone feeling their best. After a lot of traveling, I'm so happy to be back creating things with my hands again and getting back into the normal, simple routines I thrive on. I'm all about keeping things simple in the kitchen so we can soak up more time outdoors this season, but starting to remind myself to make space to slow down and cherish the cozy, beautiful moments indoors as well. I think that means that I'm just ready for fall. I hope something here sparks fresh inspiration for your kitchen and home. Tonight we're making a really good classic hamburger helper, but homemade with some buttery green beans. You're starting to like green beans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna dump it out for you, but how can I? That's so big.
Oh, good job. I'm doubling the recipe so that we can have it for lunch too tomorrow. I've got the ground beef already browning. These onions will go in next. And then the pasta cooks right in it with a few other ingredients.
Yeah.
You want to help cut up these onions a little bit better than Mommy did?
But I don't like.
Does it make you cry?
Yes, it goes right into my eye.
It goes right. Minced garlic goes in with the onions, and today my son learned how strong raw garlic tastes. Yeah. Right, now get it over the thing and pour it. One, good job. Do another, take your time. How many is this? Two. Okay, it got a little bit burnt, but getting my kids involved is worth a few imperfections. In the end, no one notices, and it's worth them spending time with me and learning a new skill. Once the roux is ready, I added the rest of the chicken stock, crushed tomatoes, garlic and onion powder, smoked paprika, seasoned salt, and whatever Italian herbs I had on hand. I brought that all to a boil, then tossed in the pasta. I'm telling you, it's so delicious and way better than anything that comes out of the box, at least from my memory. While that simmers, stir it often so it doesn't stick. It does stick real easy. I grate the cheese, though someone always sneaks in a few bites, and bring the green bean water to a boil. You've got to stay on top of the pasta though and add more water if the pasta soaks up too much liquid before it's fully cooked. I think I added about 1 cup here. While I'm plating and the kids' pasta's cool, I blanch the green beans for about 3 minutes and saute them in butter, garlic, salt, and pep until slightly crispy. The boys really love these this way. It's almost like they eat more than we do. This meal is super tasty, healthy, really filling, and makes enough for 2 big meals when doubled. Plus, there are always happy plates at the end, and that's my kind of dinner. This boy was hungry. I love how versatile flatbread is. It's perfect for pizza, sandwiches, or even just on its own. It's delicious. This time I used it to put a fun twist on a summer favorite by making smash burgers. The sourdough base adds a great flavor, and the sauce that goes with this is absolutely delicious. And the best part is they freeze beautifully so you can save extra flatbread for future meals. I mixed the dough the night before to give it time to rise, and today I'm dividing it into 12 balls to rise again for a few hours. This is a little bit before lunch. I was supposed to cook them that evening, but we got a last-minute invite to the pool, and of course we couldn't say no. But by the time I got back to the dough that evening, the balls had really dried out a bit. I should have covered them, but you forget. They still turned out delicious, and all this to say is all of these recipes are super forgiving. It's still a delicious homemade meal. When it's time to cook, I just roll them out with a little flour on the pan and on the dough and cook each one in a cast iron pan while I kind of go about rolling them out. It's so simple and really good and a perfect evening activity. Once the flatbreads start to bubble up and get like lightly brown on the bottom, I flip them and cook them until the other side is a little golden too. It tends to be about 4 minutes total, depending on how hot your cast iron is. Honestly, I wanted to eat them right then and there, but I saved them for the easy dinner the next night. Fast forward to tomorrow and cooking the smash burgers. I season the ground beef with about a teaspoon of oregano, garlic, and onion powder, a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and salt and pepper to taste. And then I let the meat sit out for a bit before spreading, as it's much easier to work with at room temperature. A thin layer goes on each flatbread, and then I cook 2 at a time. So simple, but really packed with flavor. It takes burgers to the next level, I feel. While the rest of the flatbreads were cooking, I whipped up a homemade burger sauce that is so delicious. I used about a cup of homemade mayo, a half a cup of ketchup, I really love this kind, white wine vinegar, pickles, and a little bit of pickle juice. It's the kind of sauce that seriously elevates any burger, tangy, creamy, and full of flavor. To finish off the meal, we had some amazing homemade vanilla ice cream, the perfect end to this laid-back summer dinner. I've been craving brownies lately, and my little guy loves helping in the kitchen. I really treasure these moments when I can just focus on him and what we're doing together without any distractions. He's getting to the age when core memories start forming, and I really hope one of these nights together ends up being one of them. I know it is for me and my motherhood. Lately, he's been having a trouble falling asleep as he's just stopped sucking his thumb. Tough adjustment, and I'm a little sad too. But on nights like this, when he's up late baking with me, he falls asleep with no trouble. So I'm trying to add them in here and there just to help with his adjustment. I was really craving some brownies, so we're gonna make our favorite brownie recipe before bed. Someone's staying up late tonight. It just calls for 1 cup of flour that's sifted with some salt, baking soda, and cocoa powder. With the dry ingredients sifted, the eggs and sugar are whisked until smooth, and then in goes the melted butter and coconut oil that's been cooling off a little bit. The dry ingredients go in last, and that rich, fudgy batter comes together so beautifully. I usually freeze half of this too. We'll eat like half and then freeze the other half because they are so rich. Quick tip is to always crumble your parchment paper if you want to add it to a pan like this. It makes it much easier to form. And my son actually did not get too dirty this time. I was really surprised. He loves washing the dishes like this whenever he can, which is actually such a nice help. While the brownies baked, I got a head start on a big batch of potato salad to have on hand that weekend. We've been on a bit of a BLT kick lately with all the fresh tomatoes from the garden, and this makes the perfect side and something to go with a couple other meals throughout the week. As the eggs boiled, I chopped up a bunch of potatoes and got those going too, while of course taste testing the delicious brownies, perks of the job. The next evening, I needed to finish up the potato salad and really wanted some ice cream to go with those brownies. So I heated 1.5 cups of cream and milk each with 1/3 cup of sugar, a pinch of salt, and a little vanilla and almond extract. Once the sugar dissolves in the warmed milk mixture, I just let that cool overnight in the fridge. At the same time, I just finished up that potato salad. Not necessary, but I always like to smash the cooked potatoes from last night. My kids like potato salad more if it's smashed and creamy. Then a bunch of those chopped boiled eggs go in. I didn't have quite enough pickles, so I added a splash extra of pickle juice to balance it out. I've shared these homemade pickles in a previous video. I'll link it above. They're so easy to make, and honestly store-bought just doesn't compare. For the dressing, it's just mayo, white vinegar, Dijon, honey, pepper, more pickle juice, and a bit of dill. If you like some spice, you can add some hot sauce in too. I set aside some for the kids just like that, and then add the diced red onion and celery into ours for that extra crunch and flavor. I've made this for my husband tomorrow night because I've got to leave for the weekend, but now I'm a little wishing I would have saved it for me. It's so good. I love this recipe, and they can probably eat it for lunch. We got some leftover fried chicken they can eat it with for dinner, and then they can have it for lunch the next day, maybe with some bread or something. But it's pretty high in protein with the eggs. I love potato salad. Everyone was very excited for the ice cream the next day. I'm currently testing both the KitchenAid and Cuisinart ice cream makers, and so far I think I'm leaning towards the Cuisinart. It's quieter, faster, and seems to churn out ice cream that's a bit more creamier. And that said, the difference isn't huge though. The KitchenAid is super convenient since it only requires just the bowl and not a separate appliance. If I were just making simple ice cream, I'd probably stick with the KitchenAid, but I have a lot of plans for this thing. When the vanilla ice cream was nearly done, around the 20-minute mark, my son got in to help by slowly adding some small brownie chunks. It turned that simple vanilla into something really special, and he loved watching it churn, and I appreciated that it's hands-on without it being dangerous for his little fingers. Of course, we should have let it firm up in the freezer for a bit, but we couldn't wait. So creamy and light, and it just doesn't feel as heavy as most store-bought ice creams, yet it just satisfies that sweet tooth perfectly. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please follow along for more. I appreciate you being here.